Right, hello guys, and welcome to today's video. And today we're going to be discussing the huge Battlefield 6 Bloom debate / issue at the moment that's going on with the game, and people are discussing in amongst the community about whether or not the Bloom that is in Battlefield 6 is an issue or is something that should be there and needs to stay there in its current state here in Battlefield 6. So in the background, I've used a gameplay from one of my early levels to kind of showcase or have you guys seen moments of Bloom. Most of you will know what Bloom is and kind of what happens with it here in Battlefield 6. But because I was on quite a low level here, didn't have many attachments on my weapon, you're going to see Bloom in its kind of biggest effect. You're going to see moments where I lose gunfights with it, because mainly sometimes stay alive because of it, because the enemy can't hit me because of the Bloom. And moments just where, you know, it's pretty inconsistent with the Bloom, I'd say, in Battlefield 6, which is kind of the idea, right? That's what Bloom is. You're not supposed to be able to master Bloom. There are things you can do to eliminate Bloom or reduce Bloom in your gunfights, which you'll see me trying to do in this gameplay. But even then, still with doing so, I was still having those moments where Bloom was causing me to lose gunfights, etc. And we'll talk about whether it's a good thing or a bad thing for Battlefield 6. But what is Bloom? If you guys didn't know what Bloom is basically a spread of bullets. So instead of your bullets coming out straight out the weapon like you would expect in, say, Call of Duty, for instance, a lot of you from this channel will probably, you know, understand Call of Duty. Like, you shoot the weapon straight at someone, you expect your bullets to go, right? The only thing we sometimes have to deal with in Call of Duty, and even in this very rare multiplayer now, is bullet velocity and bullet drop. But in Battlefield, you have to deal with bullet drop and the potential of Bloom. And Bloom just causes a spread in your shots at, like, different, you know, regardless of, you know, where you're firing from. At short range, it's not going to be as much of an issue. At those longer ranges, it is. But there are ways to counter it. There are ways to deal with it without having to do anything crazy, such as, obviously, you know, you've got to level up the weapons in this game, which do take a very long time. So maybe that's where this complaint is coming in more so, is that people haven't got to those higher level of their weapons to be able to use the attachments that do massively make a benefit to the weapon to reduce that Bloom. But at the same time, many people, I think, who have come from Call of Duty don't understand that you are meant to tap fire in Battlefield, right? This is not a game where you shoot 800 meters, 1,000 meters, 400 kilometers, whatever it is, across the map, just full on, full auto. You've got to be, like, tap firing. Even at those medium range gunfights, you should be tap firing with an assault rifle, with an SMG, with an LMG, whatever you're doing. Obviously, with an SMG, you shouldn't really be firing at those medium ranges, but obviously people do so. It is possible in Battlefield as well. I have done it myself, so it isn't something that's out of the realm. You know, SMGs aren't just built for close quarters. You can do it at those medium ranges. But it seems to be a bit of an issue at the moment in the community. It seems to be a big debate on it. Some people are for it, some people are against it. I'm interested for you guys to let me know down below. Are you for and against or against Bloom here in Battlefield 6? Do you think it should be there at all, or do you think it should be taken away? Because obviously, it is kind of a skill gap issue, right? There is also the debate that this is in the game to help players, you know, who are quite new to the game to stay alive and win gunfights that they probably shouldn't. And I get that argument, but I see it as, from my personal point of view, I see Bloom being there because in this game, you do die quite fast, like quite fast. There are some moments in this game that you'll probably see where I escape from, you know, being insta-killed, basically, because that's what happens in this game. In about short to medium ranges, you do get, like, insta-killed. Not in a way like Call of Duty where, like, it's annoying, like, it's understandable. This is Battlefield 6, right? I don't get annoyed at it. Like, that's Battlefield 6. Once someone has shot first and you haven't, that's kind of it. Like, you've lost the gunfight. I don't mind that. I really don't mind that. But it does seem to be a way where in certain situations you just get lucky enough to be able to get away in certain situations because you can tell that, like, the Bloom has taken over and stopped you from dying in that situation, and it gives you that little second to heal up or to, you know, find a new position or run away, something like that. So I don't mind it so much, but I do think, in my overall opinion, there needs to be a reduction to it because it seems to be worse on some weapons than it should be. For instance, assault rifles. Again, this gameplay is me using an assault rifle, and it's quite noticeable in the assault rifles. I've used the LMGs. Doesn't seem to be as big of an issue. I don't know if Bloom is, like, calculated very differently per weapon, which I feel it is, like, just based off a feel. I haven't really tested myself. I'm sure we're going to get videos of people testing the Bloom spread and that. We've even seen, actually, a clip where someone, you know, if you use a sniper, by the way, not on the recon class, for instance, you do get, like, moments where Bloom takes over. Like, your weapon won't shoot exactly what it's supposed to with a sniper rifle. But that is only happening if you use a sniper off of the recon class cell, which I do mind. I don't mind, sorry. I think that makes sense, right? If you want to use a sniper, you should use it on the recon class. You shouldn't be able to go use the assault package or whatever other packages with the sniper class. I think that makes total sense. So yeah, that is happening as well with the snipers. In case you were wondering if it was happening with snipers, it is technically, but only if you use the sniper away from the recon class. But Yeah, so the bloom is happening, and with SMGs, I find it isn't happening too much, and I can understand why probably there isn't as much bloom on the SMGs, is because they already have quite a bit of a disadvantage, right? At those medium to longer ranges, they aren't going to win any gunfights. They have the lower bullet velocity, for instance. You're going to have to account for, adjusting for bullet drop and etc. You're also, not going to do as much damage over those ranges. But in those up-close personal situations, SMGs, I feel like, definitely rule the way. Same with shotguns, which I don't mind. Right? They should do. They're close quarters, right? Assault rifles, though, are supposed to be the be-all, do-it-all sort of weapon. But in this game, it does feel like the bloom is a bit too much on the assault rifles, that it is losing gunfights in most situations to LMGs at those medium to longer ranges, so it isn't winning those gunfights. And then those short ranges, the SMGs and shotguns come out on top as well. So I think a lot of people's complaints come because a lot of people will naturally gravitate to the assault rifle class, and that is the class at the moment that I think is struggling with the bloom issue in the game. SMGs, again, it does have it, but it's not as big of an issue. I don't see it as big of an issue compared to what it is like on the assault rifles. Again, LMGs, I think it's okay. LMGs seem quite strong in this game and seem like in a good position. So you guys have to let me know down below what your thoughts and opinions are. But I don't see this as a thing where it's one of those. It's a big debate because, again, people are going to see it as a skill issue thing. People feel like you should be able to just naturally be able to aim and not have bloom. And I understand that argument, because let's be honest, if this happened in Call of Duty, if Call of Duty had bloom, I'd be against it, just because of how Call of Duty's always been. But because of what Battlefield is, like, it's a long range maps, even in these short to medium matches, like I'm playing here, this is a close quarters like mosh pit as well, and you're still seeing like bloom effects take over and kind of make me lose some gunfights, win some gunfights, etc. But so far, Battlefield 6 itself, like EA has not commented on this and made a post saying whether or not they're going to change bloom or make some adjustments. Obviously, from the beta, this was adjusted as well. This wasn't the same level it was in the beta. So I can get the complaints as well, because in the beta, everyone, I think, felt the game was in a pretty decent space. And then they changed it, which wasn't something that people obviously asked for. So I think people kind of want it to be back to what it was like in the beta. And again, I totally get that argument. I can't really attest to that argument because I only played 3 hours of the beta myself. Again, I enjoyed the beta, but I only played 3 hours of the beta, so I can't attest to whether or not it should go back to the beta levels or not, because I didn't really play that much of the beta. I've kind of just naturally got on with it and had to deal with it in this game. Again, I think most people don't realize that you are meant to burst fire the weapons, even in like those medium range gunfights, long range gunfights, to be as accurate as possible. So if you guys didn't know that, you need to start bursting your weapon. Not change it to burst, by the way. Don't change your weapon to single fire shot. Just have it on fully automatic and start bursting in gunfights. Trust me, you'll win a lot more gunfights at those medium ranges, longer ranges, etc. But I still think there's some work to be done with this. I think it has been tuned a little bit too much, mainly on the assault rifles, just the assault rifles. SMGs, I think, however much bloom is on there, again, it's not really, I don't know what the set value is, or how the set value is worked out to how much bloom, how much spread is on those weapons, but SMGs are fine. Obviously, shotguns are shotguns, so they're not going to have bloom. LMGs, again, I don't think have an issue with bloom, and snipers, again, the sniper doesn't have bloom unless you had take it away from the recon class, so that makes sense to me. That makes total sense. I think they've tried to balance this, but I just don't think it's worked in the favor they have, because they want people to gravitate away from the assault rifles. Obviously, people are going to use the assault rifles over and over again. They are the class that people gravitate to in any game, whether it's Call of Duty, Battlefield, you name it. And I think they're trying to make it so it's diverse. So I don't know what to say on this. Again, I think, in my personal opinion, the bloom needs to be reduced in assault rifles, but I wouldn't want the game to then become an all-out, everyone just uses assault rifles every single game. You see an M4 on the map all the time, no SMGs, no LMGs. Like, I feel like it gives the classes their designated roles, really. Like, if you want to shoot at the long ranges, you've got to use the LMGs, the sniper rifles, the DMRs. If you want to win those close range, you would use the SMG and the shotgun. If you want an all-round weapon that can do it all, but you've got to be a little bit more careful with it and how you use it, then you go with the assault rifle. Like, again, it's not like they're unusable, by the way, as well. I think some people have almost said it as if they're completely unusable when SMGs absolutely dominate. Like I said, but having a decent game here. I don't do crazy well. I just use this game as an example to showcase what bloom can be like, where it's like helping me out and not helping me out. And I haven't talked about even, like, so mainly the point of as well why I think bloom is somewhat okay in the game to be there. Because again, people were asking for the removal of it. And I get for the removal, but I just think there should be a reduction. I don't think there should be a removal of it because of what Battlefield is. I think you die quite fast in this game. The time to kill, is quite quick. And I do like the idea of being able to escape from a gunfight, right? And I know that sounds helpful to me, and that sounds like a a low skill type of comment to make, but I think with the way the time to kill is in this game, you do need those moments and those elements where you are going to be able to run away, because otherwise I feel like if we have no bloom in Battlefield 6 because of the way the game is and how Battlefield is as a game, you're going to find you're not escaping from many gunfights in the way that you'd like to hope so, you know? And maybe there's something they could do, because I know Battlefield used to do this in the past. I don't know if they still do this now, like test playlists and stuff. I think they should at least try that. I don't know if they still do that sort of thing nowadays. Battlefield fans, you're going to have to let me know. Again, I'm kind of in your world. I am a Call of Duty player. I don't know too much about Battlefields of past. I know of Battlefield. I played probably way back in Battlefield Hardline. I haven't really played recently. Do they do test playlists? If so, then bring back a test playlist with the weapons changed to either have no bloom or reduced bloom. I think that's the best way to do this, and then take feedback of how this works. If they do test playlists, again, Battlefield fans, you have to let me know if that's something that they still do. I do remember in the past there used to be test playlists, so you guys have to let me know on that. But let me know in the comments, Battlefield 6 bloom, should it be there? Should it be reduced? Should it be left the way it is? Do you agree with it? Do you disagree with it? Do you think it's just a mechanic that shouldn't be there? Do you think it's a low skill mechanic, or do you think it's there because it does fit, allow Battlefield players to be able to roam around the map a bit, and have that chance to win gunfights even if they do get shot first? Let me know down below. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe, got notifications on, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Goodbye.